Hey guys, John here with RealTruck.com, and today I want to show you how to install the BakFlip VP tonneau cover on this 2016 Ford F150. Okay guys, we've got everything out of the box. You can see here it comes complete with everything that we need to install this on the truck. It comes, of course, with our cover itself. It comes with the prop rods, the clamps, your buckle clips, which we're going to attach on there. Also, you have your thumb screws, which are what we're going to use to attach this to the side rails, which are right here, your side rails, and your bump stops, your seal, and your drain tubes. So let's get this onto the truck. So the first thing we're going to do here before we even start to actually attach our tonneau cover to our truck is to install the bulkhead seal. Now, if you guys can see this is a really nice seal. It's going to help seal this up really nice in the front. Now, if you have a drop-in bed liner, then of course you're not going to use a seal like this on it, but this truck does not. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put it on here, and we're going to keep it right here on the edge, move it all the way across, and as you can see there's a little extra. We'll just cut that off at the end. But before we would do any of that, we need to take an alcohol prep pad, make sure this has already been washed with some soap and water, and then we just want to use this to get any extra residue or anything like that off of here, so that way our bed seal sticks really, our bulkhead seal actually sticks really well. So we'll clean this up, give this just a moment for the alcohol to evaporate and dry, and we'll be ready to put this bulkhead seal on here. So we're going to peel back a little bit of the backing on this, and you don't want to peel this all off at once, because if you do, it's going to create a nightmare, because this stuff sticks well, and everything it touches it's going to stick to, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of problems. So we'll pull this back a little bit. We'll get it right here on the edge by our bed rail cap, right on the edge of the bulkhead, and just start laying it down on there. And give it a little press at the beginning there to make sure that it sticks on there really good. And then I'm just going to stretch this out across here just to kind of help keep it straight for me. And then we're just going to peel the tape backing right out from under it and just kind of push down on it a little bit there, just lightly, until we know it's right where we want it. And go ahead and flatten it down. And we're just going to go all the way across like this. And when we get to the end, of course, then we're going to cut off the excess, and we'll be ready to move on to the next step, which will be to attach our side rails. Okay, so we're ready to put our side rails on. Now, the first thing we want to do here is make sure that we have the tailgate closed. And you can see they have these metal slotted pieces on these. These are going to be up here at the front. And when we do this, we want to set this on here and make sure that this is all the way forward. And there's also on these rails a little seal that runs along this area here, and that's going to sit down on top of your bed rail cap. And we're going to put it on just like that. We're going to start with the front clamp, and we're going to put it on. Now you want to put it probably about 6 to 9 inches from the cab, which is going to be right about in this space here. So we're going to put that on there. You want to move it up as far as you can, and still keep this attached. And let's see here. Get a hold of this and get it up in here where it's supposed to go. And we want to make sure that when we do this, guys, that we have this clamp slid up as far as it will go, and that we keep this rail level while we're attaching all this stuff. And as we tighten these up, we're going to want to press down on the top of here a little bit, because that's going to help set that seal in place along the top and keep the water and such from getting into your bed. And we're just going to take our socket and our ratchet here, make sure I've got that up there right, and snug this up a little bit. Now, don't tighten this all the way up, gang, because we may have to adjust a little bit. So I want to leave it just a little bit loose, just snug enough to hold it in place where it needs to be. And another thing to keep in mind, as you can see here on this clamp, keep these things so they're straight across horizontally, so that way these teeth that are on these clamps can actually get into the grooves on the side rail, and that's going to help hold this in place. Now once we have this all on here, then the next thing you're going to want to do is grab yourself a torque wrench and torque these to 10 foot-pounds, and that's going to make sure that this thing stays securely on the bed like it's supposed to. So we'll move on to the next one, and we're going to try and get it centered in here. So right about here, looks about right. Okay, and then of course, finally the back one. And then the back one, we're going to put it close to the back as we can, which is going to be right about in that spot there. Push down on the rail a little bit. Okay, so the rail is on. The next thing we're going to do then is we're going to grab our torque wrench, torque those to 10 foot-pounds, and we're going to go ahead and install the one on the other side, which is going to install exactly like this one did, and we'll come back and we'll show you what to do next. Okay guys, so we're going to lay our tonneau cover up here on the bed of our truck, and just fold it open here just a little bit, because we're going to attach our buckle straps to the front there. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So what we're going to do then is we're just going to take our buckles and we're going to put them in place here, and take the flat part of the screw style here, and we're going to attach that through the bottom down here. We'll step 2 of those, and then we're going to put our screws in place here. All right, so we're going to take our screwdriver and tighten these screws down. Make sure that we don't over tighten, but we have them tight enough that they hold. So we'll do that to both these screws, and then we're going to jump over and do the one on the other side, and then we'll be ready to attach our cover. All right, so the next step we're going to do then is we're going to attach our cover to our side rail. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take our bolt here and drop it down inside. Make sure that it has this rubber washer on here, because that's what's going to keep this sealed up once we have it in place. So once we have this in, then we're going to get underneath and we're going to attach our hardware to the bottom side, and it's going to go like this. First you're going to have the rubber flat washer, then you're going to have the big flat steel washer, and then you're going to have the lock washer, and then your thumb screw, and it's all going to be sitting in there just like that. So basically it'll look something like this underneath there, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go drop this bolt in the other side, and then we'll get underneath and attach all this hardware. All right, once we have our cover on, we have our mounting bolts in place. The next thing we're going to do is fold this out, make sure that it fits correctly and that we don't need to make any adjustments anywhere. Also, leave those thumb screws underneath that we just attached on there. Leave those loose until after this step, in case you have to move this around just a little bit. All right, perfect. We're all good. Everything looks like it's lined up nicely on both sides. So we can go ahead, open this back up, tighten up our thumb screws right where they are, and the next thing we're going to do then is we're going to attach the drain tubes for the rails, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Okay, everything's all set, so next thing we're going to do then is attach these drain tubes, and this is a really simple thing to do. Now there's a couple ways you can do it depending on your vehicle. There's plugs in, like this one has plug down here, some of them have them up here, some on the side. If it doesn't have one at all, you can actually drill a hole and route that through it. But what we're going to do is we're just going to pop this plug out right here. And then attach our drain tube to the spout, which is right up here. And it's just going to slide right on over top of that. And then route it right out and through the bottom. Now, Another thing you can do here, you're probably like, well, that's going to be a big gaping hole there. One other thing you could do is you could actually just drill a hole right in the center of this and run it through there. But since this truck actually is not mine, I'm not going to do that. I'll let the owner decide whether they want to do that or not. So I'm going to put the one on the other side, just like we did this side, and then we'll be ready to show you what the next step is. Okay, the next thing we're going to do then, guys, as you can see here, this cover comes all the way up to the back glass, which can be a bad thing, except for we have bump stops. Now these bump stops we're just going to attach across the back here. Just peel the backing off. We're going to put one right in the center here, and then we'll put one right on each end, and that'll help when we have this in the full open position to protect the back of our cab and our back window so that we don't have any issues. Same thing here. We'll put this one right here. And then one on this end. And there we go. That's going to help protect the back of our cab and our glass so we don't have any problems with that. All right, so we're going to attach our prop rods. These attach pretty simple. They're very similar to your hood prop rod on your car or your back window gate glass prop rods on your SUV. They just have a hole right here and a ball pin here, and it just snaps right on in place, just like so. And then we'll be able to take these and we'll move these up on here, slide this down, and lock this down, and that's going to hold this up in place. So we're going to do the one on this other side, and then we'll come back and show you what this thing looks like all done. All right, so our prop rods are all attached. This is what they look like when they're in place, and when you're not using them, you can just pull that up, take the prop rod out, and hook it right in this little handy loop right here, and close up our cover. So you guys can see there's a little bit of wrinkling in this rubber seal. That's not a big deal, because what will happen is when it sits out in the sun, this is going to soften up, and then it's going to lay on here nice. In the meantime, what I would recommend is just to kind of pull it up a little bit like that to make sure that it's flat out on both sides, let it sit in the sun, or you can take a hair dryer to it and just heat it up enough to soften it, and it'll take this little wrinkling out, and this thing will lay in here really nice. And there you have it, guys. That's how quick and easy it is to install the BakFlip VP tonneau cover onto your truck. So remember, until next time, happy motoring.